video, I'll talk a little bit about secure shell. But before I do, I wanted to point out once again that there is a project called omyzsh, and similarly there is a project called omybash. So I highly recommend that you try to install one of these helpers for your shell. They can improve your productivity quite a bit. So the way that you install it is basically just to copy this command and paste it into your terminal like this, and run this, and this should install it for you. I have already installed it on my machine, so it's not gonna install it again. Okay, that was a quick primer on that. So today I want to talk about secure shell. Now, secure shell is a tool that is very important when you need to work on remote machines. For instance, if you need to log into a remote machine to do some commands related to a server that you're running. As software developers in this day and age, with cloud computing and network services, it's important to be able to manage services remotely rather than going to the physical machine, and most of the machines that run services are not even accessible via a terminal or a screen as such. And why do we want to do this? There are several reasons. You may want to view debug logs on your server. You might want to update your server code, dependencies, recompile your software, and so on. And you want to do that on the server that's running your software. Now, moving on to the OpenSSH project that I've linked here. This is the most common implementation of SSH that people use these days, and it provides several commands. So first of all, the SSH command that you will be using. In addition, there is also a SCP command that allows you to do secure copying of files from one machine to another, and similar, there's an FTP command, SFTP, that allows to do sort of the similar things as SCP. There's commands for key management, and we'll use SSH keygen to generate a key in this video. So let's get cracking with running some commands. So first of all, I have created another account on my laptop here, and hopefully I'm logged into the same account on both of these terminals here. So I'm this user here, and what I want to do now is first of all, let's check out the SSH command. There's a man page or a manual page for the SSH command, and here is the main description. You can sort of take a look at what this command does here, and it has a bunch of arguments that you probably don't need for the most basic uses. But let's go ahead and do sort of the steps that we need to do in order to create a passwordless login from my laptop here and onto the Unix machine. Now my laptop's name is this. This is I'm at the office, and this is sort of like a randomly assigned name that I get from the DHCP server. So what I'm going to do now is to create a key using the SSH keygen command. Now this command is going to generate some public-private key pair for me using an algorithm called RSA. This is the most common algorithm for SSH But there are other algorithms that you can choose. If you run this command with the -t argument, you can change the type of algorithm that you use. But you can read the demand page for more details about that. Now, the file, it's asking me where I want to save the key file. And I'm just going to save it in the default file here. And next thing it does is it creates the folder, since I didn't already create it. And then it's asking me to give a passphrase. Now I'm going to use an empty passphrase because I want to have passwordless login to the Unix system. So I'm going to create a key without the passphrase. So I press enter twice to get such a key. Now I can go into the SSH folder and check out what's there. So now I see I have two keys, IDRSA and IDRSA pub. Now the IDRSA key, that's a private key, and you should never ever show that to anyone. You should protect it. And if you take a look at the file permissions, the IDRSA file is protected with read-write for the user only, the owner, whereas the group permissions and the other permissions for other people with access to this computer don't have access to read this file ever, right? Whereas this public part of the key, that's accessible to both the group and to others. That's because this is not a critical part of this is a key that it can be distributed publicly. It's not a secret. All right. So now that we have this key, what we want to do is to log into the Unix server. So I'm going to move over to this terminal, and I'm going to SSH into my account on the Unix network like this. And now I'm specifying my name on my Unix account and this jump server here. This is a login server for the Unix network, and I have to specify my username on the Unix network because it's different from my local username. And what happens next is that it asks for ask me to authenticate the server. So my local machine doesn't know for sure whether or not this is an authentic server. So it's asking me, do you trust that this is the correct server? And I'm going to trust it, and so I'm saying yes. And then I'm asked to provide the password for my account on the Unix network. So I'm going to type that. And so now I'm on the SSH1 server. All right. Now what I want to do now is I want to allow my laptop under the account cast to be able to log into my Unix account mailing without a password. And so what I need to do is to go into here, and let's check out the files that are here. So here we see we have unauthorized keys file, and we have a pair of key files here as well, and some other files that I should probably clean up. Anyway, I can take a look at what's inside this authorized keys file, and here I have a bunch of other public keys that I have added. And so authorized keys, these are the keys that I have added here to allow logins without using a password. And so, for instance, this key here allows me to log in from my laptop to this to the Unix network without using a password. But I can't do it from this account. This is associated with my mailing account on my laptop. So I need to add this key that I just created to this authorized keys file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to concatenate to the end of the authorized keys file the file or the key that I just created. So when I do this cat and these two pipes or redirect symbols, it means that I will append to the end of this file. Okay, so I'm going to head over to this and take a look at what's in my pub file. So here I have the file or the key that I just created. So I'm going to copy this. So I'm using Command or Control C to copy it, and moving back here, and now I can paste it into this file, and I have to type Control D. So Control D is what I just entered in order to finish appending to the authorized keys files if you do it with this cat command here, like this. So now I can cat authorized keys again, but now without the two arrows. And I can see that now I have added this new key at the end of the file. I see that I have an empty line here, so I'm going to just edit the file to clean it up a little bit. So I'm going to delete this line here. Okay, so now I have this file and cleaned up and all. So now I should be able to, from this, so I'm still here on my laptop and I'm this user. So now I should be able to do SSH1 to my account and without having to type a password. And there you go. Now I logged in without the password from my account on my laptop. Okay, so that's the first part I wanted to show. Now I'm going to log out again. So now just to verify that I'm back on my local machine, my laptop. So what I want to do now is I want to make it simpler to log into the Unix server without having to type, my name and then the server. Obviously, because of the omyset.sh, I can do tab completion for some of this stuff, so it's not so bad. But needless to say, I want to make a file inside the .sh folder. So I'm going to make a file called config. And in this file, I want to add a stanza called host. And I'm going to call it UIS. So my host is just going to be UIS, and the host name that's associated with UIS is going to be SSH1 UX UIS NO, so the full name. And this is going to allow me to type just SSH UIS. And in order to avoid having to type the username, which is different from my account on my laptop here, I just provide the user name here. So I do this and save this file, cat, so you see that the content is like this. And now I can do UIS SSH from my laptop, and I will automatically be logged into to my account on the Unix network like this. Okay, so that's setting up a few ways to make it simpler to log into your Unix account. So next thing I want to show you is how do I do this so that I can clone my GitHub repository without having to type a password. So again, I'm going to go into SSH, get my public key. No, I'm on my Unix account. So now I'm once again back here at my laptop. Here's my key. Now I want to go over to GitHub, and you should go to your settings, and you should go to SSH and PGP keys. And here, as you can see, here I have a bunch of other keys, and I can go to my to the green button over here, new SSH key, and I can provide so cast account on Model X. Okay, so I just gave it a name here, and I go over here again and copy, oopsie, and copy the file here, and I paste it into this dialog and add the key. Now I have to authenticate in order to add a key, and now I added this new key to my set of keys that's allowed to access my account on GitHub. And so now I should be able to do commands like, let me head over to course info here and go to lab submission, for instance, and I want to clone this one, and SSH git clone and manstd labs, and let's clone that into a science. Okay, so let's see if that's gonna work. Okay, so it's asking me for the password. I think, okay, I have to go to let me head over to lab 1. So all right, so I'm going to clone using this one. So git clone. So the reason the previous command didn't work is because it tried to authenticate not using SSH, but instead using HTTP. And now you see it was able to clone the repository, my personal repository, into the folder assignments without me having to type a password. I only had to authenticate GitHub's sort of the key for GitHub, so that they become a known host in my system here. So that's what's needed in order to set up a key from your laptop to GitHub. Now you could do the same for your Unix here. So if I take a look at my public key, so id rsa.pub, I can take this key and similarly paste it into this dialog here, and I should be able to do a similar login from the Unix account without using a password, as long as you use this as long as I use this command style here to clone my repository. Okay, that's it for this video. See you in the next one.